Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, thank you for stopping by Mr. Bills' classroom. Today, we're going to talk about presidents, not so good presidents. And what prompted me to have this talk is, of course, our current president, Donald Trump. Now, without getting all political, to each his own, and some think he's good and some think he's not so good. Where I fall in the spectrum is not important. However, he is not the first and probably won't be the last president that's not, it's been, let's say, the best we could have got. I'm going to begin by talking about John F. Kennedy Jr. A lot of people think that he was one of the greatest presidents of all time, and history has most certainly been kind to him. However, if the truth be known, there are two important factors about his life that people tend to omit. One is that he was on drugs a lot. During his time in the military, unfortunately, he was shot down in an airplane. As a result of that, he had serious back injuries. And as a result of that, John F. Kennedy Jr. was under the influence of opioids most of his administration. In fact, rumor has it he was on heroin and morphine. Who am I to say whether it's true or not? But again, that's what history tells us. Two, he was not the sharpest knife in the drawer. In fact, history now tells us that during the Bay of Pig incident, Cuba knew all along what was going on, which is why it resulted in such a fiasco. He was not the best. He was not the best by far. And one more thing, this is very important. Supposedly, he, through his father, had mob ties. Now, what kind of president do we want that has ties with the mafia? Come on, get real. So, John F. Kennedy was not the knight in shining armor that history makes him out to be. The next one is the one that we all know had some problems, and that's Richard Nixon. Tricky Dick. Richard Nixon did a bunch of things that were not right. Of course, the break-in of Watergate being key amongst them. However, before Watergate even took place, he made one crucial mistake. He selected Spiro Agnew to be his vice president. Unbeknownst to many, Spiro Agnew was a thief. He was a straight thief. In fact, history tells us that Spiro Agnew had people bringing bribes to him in the basement of the White House. In fact, the way they got Spiro Agnew out of the White House during all this Nixon resignation deal was they threatened him with prosecution. Had he not resigned, he was going to be prosecuted, which resulted in this. Gerald Ford is the only man to have been president and wasn't elected. He was first elected to be vice president once Agnew resigned, and then once Nixon resigned, he became president. Of course, this brings us back to Donald Trump. I will say this. History is going to be very, very concerned with some of Donald Trump's actions and statements. Be that as it may, you got to give the man this much credit. He is president. You too can become president. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for stopping by Mr. Bill's classroom, and we'll see you next time. Rolling, baby.